Good morning, everyone. I'm back here on the Naples Money Managers News you can use on July 26th. Great Monday.
Yeah.
Pouring rain last night.
It's been a wet summer so far.
Oh my gosh, in Vermont we had 10 inches of rain in 18 days, which for Vermont is a lot of rain. So,
Could be worse though. Could be China.
Yeah, I suppose.
They're getting it there.
It could definitely be that. What I wanted to talk a little bit about today is the rush to do things in 2020 to save taxes. I think that's really important. I had a client ask a few questions the other day, and it caused me to do some more research. And many of you may already know this, but if you're rushing around to take capital gains this year, hoping that you will avoid the increase in capital gains in the proposal that's in there, it's proposed to be retroactive to April 2021.
Oh, that is. The language is in there now.
So it's too late if the proposal goes through as proposed. Remember, this is all. The other thing that people are asking me about is should they convert their IRAs to a Roth right now and take advantage of the lower income tax rate. And I guess I'll have to say it depends on a couple of things. First of all, you really need to talk to the CPA and let them run a calculation to see what, if you have $100,000 and you're going to put that into a Roth, well, that's $100,000 coming out taxable.
Sure.
Does that pop you into the highest bracket? Or do you have a lot of losses this year? Maybe it's a good year to do it. So there's a lot of factors that will play into that.
It sounds like that's like not a one-size-fits-all answer.
Well, and of course, the older you are, the less advantage you have. So the younger you are,
sure.
Then remember, when it goes in a Roth, as long as it's been in there for 5 years, it not only grows tax-free, it comes out tax-free. That is a pretty big deal, especially if we're expecting rates to be higher, which I think no matter what, we are expecting rates to be higher.
The Fed has all but said that too, that by 2023 that we can expect some form of rate increase. So
those are the things people are looking at. Do we need to, or do you want to push income into this year? That's another thing people can do, is push income into this year and push your deductions into next year. So you can use those. So in other words, if you only have enough to use your standard deduction, normally, but maybe this year you have enough to claim more, you can itemize, right? Maybe you want to push some of those items out into next year. Take your standard this year and then next year have more to deduct when the rates are higher.
In 2022 or
so
2023.
This is the time to do tax planning, people, right now, not November, not December, and definitely not January. So don't call me and ask me in January, should you do a Roth? Because I guess my answer will be no.
Yeah, it'll be a little too late.
And nobody wants to talk about it now, but it is the time to do it. So those are a couple of things that I thought, so we can talk about that tax rush. We just talked about the Roth IRAs and what the advantages are there. You always talk about the FOMO.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so the FOMO, fear of missing out. God, that seems like the last couple of years in the market, that's been kind of the story. You see a lot of things go up really fast, really far, and usually it's short term. This market has been one of extremes lately. Last Monday we were down almost 900 points.
Right, I saw that.
It was intense would be the word for that kind of day. But as professionals, we tend to stay the course, but we also look for opportunities.
Right.
Now,
did you find one?
Oh, we absolutely did.
Okay, what was it?
Well, it was Tractor Supply, and the neat kind of to give a little background about that is, as we've talked about many times, our strategy is the double income using the options.
Right.
The previous Friday had been an expiration date, which means the stocks that could have been called away with our options on it were called away. So we had a big infusion of cash on Friday. And then the market dropped 900 points on Monday.
Oh, that was nice of it.
Absolutely. So we went into cash on Friday. When the market dropped on Monday, we had some opportunities. We bought Tractor Supply, which had been down 14%.
Wow.
We bought it at, I think, 175.28, and I think it's above 185 now.
And then you wrote a call on it or not yet?
We did. We did finally lock the call in after it had gone up $10.
That is the power of Mapato, that double income strategy.
It really is
powerful. What you can do with that extra. Everybody should go to the Tractor Supply stores. There's one on the way just past, if you're going out 41, the Marco Island turn, just past that on the left. There's one there.
Yeah.
I guess there's probably one in Fort Myers.
Absolutely, and Alba. So.
And where?
Alba, it's further
Alba,
north.
but nothing.
In between us and
I
there,
don't think
I don't think so.
But it's a real fun experience to go to a Tractor Supply.
It really is, and you can buy little pools for your kids.
It's not a pool. It's a watering trough. Like for $300, you get a 300-gallon watering trough, and you can just unscrew it at the bottom and clean it out. Kids can't hurt it. They can't knock it over. It won't pop.
And you cannot pay for a pool that's indestructible at that age. I'll tell you what.
Having 2 little kids, I happen to also go to a place that I'd never been to before called Cheshire Horse. And I don't know if that's a stock or not, but this was like a playground for every pet you had. They even had, a harness for your chicken. Who ever heard of that? A harness for a chicken. But I spent about 3 hours in there with 2 little horse riding girls. It was a lot of fun.
I bet they loved that.
I don't know if it's public or not, but maybe you should check that out.
Absolutely.
Right.
But to my final point, the markets are very irrational is the word I constantly use. Like, it seems like the things that are driving the market are not necessarily fundamental based or maybe vested in reality in some cases. There's a lot of emotion right now. People are worried about, Delta. They're worried about, taxes. They're worried about all sorts of things. So the market,
politics in general.
Absolutely politics, which influences all of that.
Right.
Now the good news is, and this is why you want to have someone watching. It's why you want to have active management during this time, and it's really why our strategy kind of leans in well, because we're not just buying and holding. We have things where we can go in and make an opportunity, develop a little more income for that position, maybe dig it out of a negative.
It helps sort out the emotional,
Absolutely.
really, by having the professional in there. It really, really does. Bitcoin is a classic example of this, and people were coming, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, and of course, they were all buying it because they were FOMO, fear of missing out, at the wrong time, of course. And it's a really good indicator that something's going to drop, by the way, when people start doing that. While you're thinking of if you want to talk about anything else in the portfolio, I did want to mention something I found out. Does anybody remember what kind of stuff they used to put in your fillings before silver?
Wasn't it like a pewter or something?
I think it's pewter, but I can't remember now. Anyway, I found out that a friend of mine who they thought had Parkinson's, turns out it's a reaction to the lead or the stuff in his fillings.
Like a toxic metal?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it, but if you're having any of those issues, you might want to find out what kind of fillings you have in your tooth. I know that has nothing to do with finance, and I apologize, but when I find out something cool, something that will help people, his whole family seems to have it. So I thought that was sort of interesting.
Well, remember, this is news you can use.
Yeah, that's right. News you can use. I think we're about out of time. Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
That's it. We'll see you next week, I suppose.
All right. We'll talk with you next week. Have a great week.